The hardest part is admitting that you had a problem. The first initial coming in. And that's the hardest part.
This is the only time in all my treatment times that I feel like I have actually wanted to be here and that I'm doing it.
This really only had everything to do with me and my decisions, and any change had to start with me.
I started drinking at 15, and I'm not blaming friends, but everybody else was doing it, so I figured why not give it a try. Shortly after that, got into marijuana and LSD. After that was cocaine and then methamphetamines. I had this almost invincible mentality.
It was behavioral problems, and I didn't know what they were caused by, other than thought maybe with his mother dying and so forth.
He kicked me out several times. I would always come crying back, tell him I'll stop, I'll never do it again. The same song and dance.
My first impression was I'd failed as a parent and that he'll never recover.
Even the friends I used drugs with were tired of the way that I was acting. That's whenever I decided it's possible to shake this.
When I first met him, he was 6 months clean. I couldn't believe that he had had the history of drug addiction. He was just wonderful, just great to my kids and good to me, and we just bonded.
And they were both excited together, and it was just like a new life had blossomed.
After we got married, it just spiraled.
And then I started using cocaine again.
He would just leave. I would not hear from him. I didn't know whether he was dead or alive.
I would just get so engulfed in doing the drugs and just not care about coming back home.
I mean, I loved him to pieces, and I did not want to lose him. Did not want to lose him. But I did not want to be with that man.
And she kicked me out, told me not to come back.
It was hard, but I knew it was the right thing to do for me and my children.
Walking down the streets, just me in the clothes that I had on, hadn't eaten anything, hadn't really slept.
I had to just completely quit thinking about him because I knew he was out on the streets. In fact, I was waiting for that phone call to come any time. I was expecting that the police call or come by and say that your son was dead.
I just know my mom was on drugs. She was struggling with the state to get her kids back. She had like 12 kids. She lost all of them. I was in like 5 different foster homes. It was a lot of abuse and neglect. It was very traumatizing. My last time I ran away, I ran up here to my sister. I had got with a set of her friends from high school. They was getting into the clubs with fake IDs and stuff, and we was doing that and popping ecstasy pills. A couple of years went by, and then I had a god sister that grew up in a foster home with my oldest 2 siblings. And I always looked up to her. She was just everything that, I wanted to be. So she introduced me to the powder cocaine. I picked it up, and that's when my drug use really began to get out of hand. It felt so good, it was scary. I realized there was a problem when they took my kids. I could see them terminating my rights and me being left stuck by myself, where I can just go ahead and probably kill myself or something, because I wouldn't have anything to live for.
It wasn't until my senior year of high school that I really started drinking, and it was senior year also that I first smoked marijuana for the first time. That really took off for me, and then I started experimenting with a lot of things. I have had experience with obsession of things my whole life. I definitely just had this thing pulling me forward with it. It made me feel good, and that made other things not matter.
I thought that I was ready for anything when it came to Sarah, and I was clueless. I had no clue.
I couldn't stop for any reason, for anything. And that was when I started having to wake up in the morning and have a pain pill, have 2 or 3 pain pills.
She had a full ride scholarship, including housing and books, and she just threw it all away.
I was hopeless. And so since I was hopeless, I just put more drugs and alcohol on top of it so I wouldn't have to feel like that. I wanted to feel nothing.
The day I got the phone call, Mom, I'm about to be arrested, it hit me like a ton of bricks all at once.
I felt like I should be able to turn it around, but at the same time, I just knew that I couldn't do it by myself.
Without the council, a lot of addicts and alcoholics wouldn't have access to premium and quality treatment services. There are good mothers inside of an addict, if you give them an opportunity to get sober. There's a good employer within an alcoholic if you give him the opportunity to get sober. Addicts and alcoholics who get into recovery tend to pay back. That's part of what we teach is if you're grateful for the gifts that have been given to you, pay that forward.
If this program could help a person like me, I think it could help anybody.
And the council helps you get through your addiction, helps you get through things in life, how to live again, how to love again.
I owe all the good things in my life to the council.
Just them believing in me, it helps me to work harder and harder every day.
It's not just the client whose life you're affecting with this work. It is the families of the client and the friends of the client and anyone who cares about that person.
She was a child when she started, and now she is a beautiful, functioning young woman who feels that she needs to help others as a result, and I'm very proud of her for that.
I was so proud of him. So proud of him. Proud of him every day.
Jeffrey was back to being he's being back to the Jeffrey that I loved.
Another thing that the council gave me was to respect myself, to show me that I am worth it.
He wrapped his arms around me and to save my life, so I'm so grateful for that.
Today, I'm not going to use drugs or drink alcohol to change the way I feel. Today, I'm going to be Sarah, and I'm totally okay with that.